You're watching Lansdowne, Roy, home for Irish football news and nostalgia. John O'Shea, he's announced his first and maybe only Ireland squad. We have our thoughts, but most importantly, we're going to hear about your thoughts. All this and more coming up on Lansdowne Roar Live. David Dunn here, joined by Martin Prendergast. And as always, if you like what you hear, love what you see, hit that subscribe button, scan that QR code, and head over to our social media. Head out to our Facebook, Instagram, and our Twitter. Get involved. And of course, we are Irish football's most interactive podcast. So we want you to get involved tonight. We're going to talk about John O'Shea's Ireland squad that was announced earlier today. We're going to have our thoughts. We want to hear, what do you think? Are you happy with it? Who did you want to see in it? Who did you want to see out of it? You know, any wild cards you wanted to see? Just tell us anything. You just want to ask us about today or how Martin got on at Cheltenham. Anything you want. You leave a comment. Get involved. As always, we will get to those comments towards the show. Martin, how you doing? You're looking awfully alive after your week at Cheltenham. Back any winners?
No winners. No, I was down there yesterday. Yeah, actually, I'm losing track of the week already because when Cheltenham
was a
week,
big scrap there during the week. Were you involved in that?
No, I wasn't involved in that. No. Yeah, I do love my racing, and I do. Yeah, so I was down at Cheltenham, as was our esteemed manager, John O'Shea, was down there Tuesday as well. Did you know that?
No, I didn't. I do now.
There you go. Thank you. Well, there you go. See, all the top people, we all go to, all the top Irish people, we all go to Cheltenham. John O'Shea's massively into his racing as well. And yeah, he was there Tuesday. But obviously then he hot-footed it on the Jonathan Hill flight. I think is that known as the Jonathan Hill flight now? The one where you fly in from commuting?
Is it City Airport to Dublin? Is that the one?
Oh, maybe it is.
Yeah, that's
well, no, he'd be Midlands, wouldn't he? Jonathan Hill would be Midlands, wouldn't it? So John O'Shea, yep, he was. Obviously.
No, Jonathan Hill lives in Balham, just down the road.
Oh, is he Balham?
Oh, your neighbour.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is actually just down the road in South London. Yeah,
so John O'Shea was down in Cheltenham. I saw on Tuesday, kind of under the radar a little bit. My brother actually met him a few years ago there. Really lovely guy to meet. Obviously, I've met John O'Shea myself on a few occasions. Yes. Good lad. So then he obviously was over in Dublin as well for the announcement of the squad, which we're going to chat through later on. But no, I didn't have a very successful day from the punting front yesterday. Very enjoyable day there myself. You know, me, Dave, I like to kind of get around and mix with the people. And I got to meet Willie Mullins, who's an absolute legend of Irish horse racing.
Don't know who that is, but okay, yep.
Yep, so I was there, 100th winner. I mean, Ireland had dominated it the first 2 days. The Brits have kind of come back a little bit today, but yeah, all looking forward to tomorrow now. I watch on the TV and final day of Cheltenham. So yeah, it's all about.
Can I shock
you? Means nothing to you, does it?
Actually, Martin, can I shock you?
Yeah,
you're right. It doesn't.
Yeah.
And you're also rubbing shoulders with some Irish legends today, other than me, of course. Mr. Dara O'Brien, there he is there. Looks very weird and grey. Does he dye his hair or something? Or do
you know what? He's a really big man. Like, I was really amazed how tall he is. He's really big. Like, so I was there at the Irish Embassy this evening because in London we obviously celebrate St. Patrick's Day, big week of events, everything going on. And we went, I went down there tonight representing West London. Very nice kind of evening there, would I say? Yeah, we are still. Evening, yeah, it was evening. And Dara O'Brien was there. Had a chat with him about Arsenal, Ireland. Quite open, to be honest. I said to him, like, we, obviously mentioned the podcast and the show, and I said, oh, like, are you kind of up to date on Ireland? So I wouldn't know any of the current players. So, which was
so he's basically like me, really, isn't he?
Yeah. So it was good to have a chat with him. But nice lad.
Yeah, I've seen him as well. Big fan of his older stuff. Anyway, started on a show over here called Echo Island. I know you would have no idea what that is, Martin.
What was that? The weird thing, the kids kind of show thing? No, I've seen like some old footage. years ago.
really that really doesn't narrow it down. I grew up in the days of Dempsey's Den,
Yeah,
Zig and Zag, and Dustin and
yeah,
Stocky and
yeah.
all that. But anyway, so there you have it. Yes, Martin has met
That's my
Darby.
busy life. Yeah.
That is your very busy life. Cheltenham Festival, couldn't give it to us.
Can
I
I
don't
just
work.
say quickly before, because I'm not
Go
going
on.
to hijack the show, obviously, but obviously St Patrick's Day parade, London, West London will be there outside the Sheraton Hotel along Piccadilly. If anyone wants to come along, join us in the parade. Over 50,000 people expected on St Patrick's Day on Sunday in London. So to take part in that, more than welcome to come along from 12:30. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
Martin is going to be on a big float with a big suitcase.
No, I'm
full
not
of
on a float,
tickets.
walking along.
Yeah.
With a load of tickets.
With a load of tickets. If he's handing out tickets to be like fucking
ticket tape.
Jelena, be like Jelena all over again, handing out all the tickets. We're going to put
Yeah.
Martin up on our shoulders.
What was the World Cup final when it was all the ticker tape? Was that Argentina? 74? Was that right?
No, that was West Germany.
78. Yeah. 78. Yeah. If you
like
know the ticker tape final, it'll be like that, but it'll be tickets.
Martin. A ticket tape parade. Right, we're going to move it on. We're going to get into the squad. Actually, just before we do, of course, I think officially we're now in the window. We're in the international window. We love the international window. We'll be heading over next week to the games. So just to let you know, guys, this Sunday we won't have an episode on Patrick's Day. We will have a live window preview, 9:30 next Wednesday. Not 9:30 next Wednesday. So do join us for that, as always, and have your say. I see the comments coming in, guys. Thank you very much. Keep them coming in. Tell us what you think of the squad. You've seen it, and we're going to talk about it in 2 seconds. Are you happy with it? Do you want more? Tell us. We want to hear from you guys. We're going to get to your comments very, very shortly. And Martin, you can stop. You can stop that right now, right? You can stop that right now. For the audio listeners, Martin is pointing at his jersey. He has a Dauda 19. Is that the amount of minutes he's played? No. I'm not going to be mean to him at all. I'm going to be nice on this particular episode.
All right.
A moment of reflection. Also, the Ireland squad, actually, before we get to the Ireland squad, the Belgium squad was announced. There you are. Fantastic. No Kevin De Bruyne. Don't really care, to be honest with you. Kevin De Bruyne, Martin, they say he's injured. Let's be honest. He wants none of John O'Shea, does he? He wants none of Callum O'Dowda.
He's running scared.
He's running scared of Callum O'Dowda.
You got to remember that they are also playing England, the Belgian team. So, yeah, it's a bit of a strange one. Well, we want to see the world's best players, and I actually think he is by far one of the best players in the world.
We're going to get Romelu Lukaku instead. That's brilliant, isn't it?
But yeah, still, it's a test. So, looking forward to it.
We will indeed. We're going to get to the Ireland squad, and it was announced today. I thought it was going to be 2:00, but then it was 1:00, and then it was 12, and then he deleted that, and then he said, no, it's 12:30. So don't worry, no. I actually got an email. It got the media email straight away, and then I got the fan email like a minute later. I was like texting everybody going, this is it. Look at me with my lanyard. And then actually, no, like 2 minutes later, got the public email. Here we are. Here's the squad. I'm going to read out the squad, and then we're going to go through the positions very quickly. And then we're going to get to the comments. I see them coming in thick and fast. So as I said, guys, leave a comment, get involved. I want to get your take on the squad. Here we go. Goalkeepers, Gavin Bazzoon and Queefing Gallagher, who should be Ireland's number 1. And Mark Travers, probably not really surprised there, but Mark Travers, I think some people were, I think they were going after Max O'Leary, wasn't it? They were, because Travers hasn't played much. He's been sitting on the bench. Defender Seamus Coleman comes in. He's been injured for a year. He's our captain. Matt Doherty comes in. Liam Scales of Celtic, who was actually recently sporting an Irish-based Celtic jersey that they always come out with every year. State of it. Nathan Collins, Andrew Bomadelli, Darragh O'Shea. Jake O'Brien comes in for his maiden squad. Very happy for him. Festi Ebiselli and Robbie Brady. An eyebrow raised there, although Nick, our very own Nick, did actually make a bold prediction, said he'd be in it. Midfielders, we have Josh Cullen, Cousin Will, Jason Knight, Jamie McGrath, Callum O'Dowda, Martin. Callum O'Dowda for you there. Mark Sykes, Finn Azaz, and Mikey Johnson. And up front, we've got Adam Ida, Kidozi Ogbeni, Sammy Smollix, Evan Ferguson, Michael Obafemi, and Troy Part, who was a bit of an injury doubt. Goalkeepers there, I mean, I don't think the squad selection is going to be the talking point there. It's going to be the starting selection there, Martin, isn't it?
Yeah. Like goalkeepers, we knew what was going to happen there. Max O'Leary probably a little bit hard done by in a sense, but we've got 4 good goalkeepers, so quite happy with it. We've obviously speculated that we think Kelleher will get probably a game. So too will Bazunu. I think it will be Bazunu starting the first game because he is the number 1 for me. But it's good. The competition's there and they're pushing, and it's going to be interesting. A new goalkeeper coach as well, part of the setup. So that's going to be a challenge and a change for them coming in. So that is a factor I think we do have to consider. And but not worried at all about the goalkeepers. We're in a really strong position with them, and I think we knew John O'Shea was probably going to be quite loyal, was going to be consistent with it. So the goalkeepers, no real worry.
Now, in defence, obviously, Seamus Coleman comes back after a year. Matt Doherty, not really a fan favourite at the moment. Liam Scales, obviously, now he is doing the business at Celtic. Nathan Collins, bit of a run, I suppose, at Brentford. Amma Bombadeli, he's actually got a run in the Nottingham Forest team as well. Jacob Bryan, let's talk about Jacob Bryan. We mentioned him on the last pod. Like, he's done really well for Leon, hasn't he? He's played...
he's a player though that's familiar with John O'Shea, basically, from the under-21s, and he said he's done very well. He's watched him, and he's John O'Shea. I thought was quite impressive in the press conference. Massive contrast to what we've had with Stephen Kenny in the past, and that I'm a big fan of Stephen Kenny. Just sadly, the communication skills were not there. John O'Shea was I don't know, really. It was just kind of laid back and relaxed, wasn't it? And he just was so assured and confident. And look, I know I get accused of Man United bias and stuff, but I absolutely love John O'Shea. I think he's always come across as brilliantly as a captain or player for Ireland. He obviously was playing a very high level with Man United, a fantastic leader with Sunderland as well. He's just an all-round good lad, but he's able to communicate, and that's massive. It gives you so much reassurance, and bringing in that squad,
not be funny here. Not be funny though, like with John O'Shea. I mean, that's not to go with John O'Shea, but more Stephen Kenny. I mean, that should be the basic requirement, some form of media training, And the thing was, I've seen Stephen Kenny lose the rag at a press conference, and all of a sudden,
very articulate, very clear.
All of a sudden, you're like, wow, where's this guy come from? He's articulate, he's on the money, boom, 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 and you go, Jesus, okay. But yeah, it could be a bit bumbling, for want of a better word, like it kind of not very clear, and could be very painful to watch, especially that last one. I think was the one against it was Greece at home, was it? And he was kind of penned in the corner, and the cameras on him, and it looked like they were pushing him against the wall. It was very uncomfortable. That was. But Jacob Bryan, he's in. No real secret there. He's done brilliantly. He's grabbed it with both hands. Ebiseli, he's doing well in Indonesia. I think the real talking point there is Robbie Brady. Now, I'd imagine he's going to be a left wing back, isn't he? So he's down as a defender. We don't actually have a left back at all in the squad, so he'd be down as a left back. Ryan Manning, by the way, in case people are wondering, he is actually out with an illness. So in case you're wondering. So with the defenders, Shane Duffy's out injured. That's why he's not in the squad. And Ryan Manning is ill. And the other left back, I suppose, but he more likely would have played the midfielder, is Alan Brown. He's out due to undergoing a minor procedure. Just in case you're wondering. But Robbie Brady, Nick Calder, I didn't think he'd be back in the squad. But
but it's the balance of experience, isn't it? Like some of these young lads coming in there, I don't expect that Robbie Brady will play much, but I think it's just to be around the squad, and it's a kind of calming influence, and this is how we conduct ourselves. And I know that people would have probably, that's a bit, what do we need him in there to do that? He's not a cheerleader and stuff. But I think we've got a very inexperienced squad still, and I think it does bring that. He may actually play. He might come off the bench. He's brilliant from set pieces. We know what he's about. But, sadly, the inclusion of Robbie Brady leaves me feeling quite kind of sad in a way, because it just reminds me of what could have been. He's such a great player. I love Robbie Brady. I thought, I really thought he was the future of our team at one stage.
I've said about him.
Just injuries haven't helped him.
he's probably the only player that you see on the team right now that when he passes the ball, he's got the weight of pass.
Yeah.
The tippy top. He had the ability to be a tippy top player, and
Yeah.
when he pass it, and it's just perfect. It just zips
Technically
across.
really good. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. And just injuries have killed him. But
yeah.
I can understand him being around the squad. And let's not forget, I know that not so long ago he was called in off kind of standby list basically with Stephen Kenny, and he come off like a family holiday and came available. So it is the the latter part of his career internationally. But we've got no problems with him being in that at all. Like the Manning factor is there, that he's not there, he's injured. I know we'll come on and talk about the midfielders, and O'Dowda is one that can go in on the left, but we're just very short of players on the left.
Jesus,
That's the fact of it. McLean, it would be a player as well who would have been in contention there. So that's just where we are with it. And it's a problem position for us now.
With the sheer dearth of options at the left, right? So you got Seamus Coleman, Matt Doherty. I think they've both played, haven't they, as a left back for Ireland? I think. Well, Doherty has. I'm not sure if Coleman has. I'm sure one of the
Coleman hasn't. Doherty has been over to the left yet.
Festy. Could he play as a left? Liam Scales has played as a left wing back.
Dara Shea is absolutely fine to be out there on the left, to be honest.
So we've got options there. We do have options there. Yeah, not for they're not first choice, but we do have options there. We're going to move on to the midfield. Josh Cullen, he's having a torrid time at the moment at Burnley, as I said he would. Cousin Will doing all right at Southampton. Well, I mean, I did. Jason Knight also not having a great time down at Burnley. Jamie McGrath, Aberdeen. I mean, he caused what's his name, Neil Warnock, your mate, to walk out.
My mate, jeez, I fucking hate Neil.
That's an erroneous statement on two levels there. Yeah. He is not your friend, and no, I jest with Jamie McGrath. And then, of course, your absolute mate, your shining light, your reason for living on this planet, Mr. Callum O'Dowda, back in the squad. Well, you wanted him in, Callum O'Dowda. Now you say he's also a versatile player. Apparently, he plays left.
No, I didn't. I didn't say I wanted him in. I just said this is what happens. Like he doesn't play for a long time. He has a couple of games, gets back to fitness, and it always seems to kind of coincide with a little run of form for him or coming back in, and then he gets picked. Just generally with the squad, though, I think the important thing about that is he does want that continuity of. Okay, and I know people then will slam at me for saying, well, it was rubbish under Kenny, so what continuity are you having? These are professional footballers, right? So I know that's a kind of stupid comment to even say, but
I hope so.
they've been working on things that and systems and things like that, and a plan. You don't want people coming in there who are going to have to take lots of time to adapt to or settle into the squad necessarily, and I think that just gives that. There's a nice kind of level of the squad. I'm not disappointed in it. I think there's a nice balance to it. You're not. They're going to get a lot of information, of course, and they'll be able to take that. I think professional athletes, but
I think it's a very, if I'm being honest with you, I think it's a very safe maintenance interim manager squad. And when it comes to heard earlier, it's a very experimental squad. I don't think so. I think injuries have kind of led to that. When you look at our injury list there, John Egan also is out. Shane Duffy's out. Not saying Shane Duffy would have got in. Ryan Manning's out with illness, so it's not really experimental. Jake O'Brien. I was going to say Jake Doyle. I don't know. Jake O'Brien there. I mean, he was obviously going to get in because he's earned it. He is doing the business for Leon at the moment. Finn Azaz as well. Now
brilliant.
Yeah, you go on, have a little gloat.
No, I just said it, and he name dropped it in the press conference today. He said he spoke to Michael Carrick, and that's naturally going to happen. And Michael Carrick is going to talk glowingly of him. It's a good opportunity for him as well, raising the profile, give him some time away from settling in at Borough. He's done very well there. I think he's a really good player, and it's a massive problem position for us midfield, and I think he offers something a bit different. He's the physical kind of specimen that he is. So yeah, he did say, John O'Shea, that he's spoken to Michael. Kept saying Michael, I like that. It was quite good. But that's just naturally going to happen. I'm excited to see him as an addition to the squad.
I'm excited.
Very good.
I
Yeah.
am excited to see him, and also Mikey Johnson as well, on fire at the moment for
Yeah.
West Brom. He's been very lucky actually. He's had a lot of our attacking players actually on form, which brings us nicely to the forwards. Adamaida on loan to Celtic from Norwich, doing brilliantly. Kyosi Benny has taken to the Premier League like a duck to water. Really good. You know, he gives you options, he gives you everything. Sammy Smollick's 27 goals this season for Blackburn Rovers. Hopefully, he makes a start. I mean, Hungry Boss was given out about him, wasn't he? Because apparently they did actually make an invitation. They did actually invite him. You know, you want to play for Hungary, and he went, absolutely not. Want to play for Ireland? And he's like, oh, we don't need players like you. So hopefully Sammy Smollick's now get a fair run at it. Evan Ferguson did play tonight for Brighton. I think they lost. They were losing 1-0 in the dying embers, but hasn't scored a goal for about 21 matches. Hopefully, this will do in the power of good. Obafemi, he did score for Millwall against Blackburn. That was a game that John O'Shea attended. And hopefully now, if he stays fit, he can do the business. And Troy Parrott was an injury doubt. But he has come in. He's done quite well. I think he's got 7 goals for Excelsior in the Eredivisie. So he's got a lot of players there on form. And the one we all want to see is Sammy Smollick, don't we? We just want to see him start. He has to start, doesn't he? 27 goals. He's on fire in the Championship as well.
Yeah, he may not start. He might just get brought into it and see what he offers, and not have a load of pressure of like the expectation of he has to start and he's got to do what he does. You know, they might be a bit safe with this team selection. But yeah, look, he's got to be in there. He's in the squad of merit. We're excited to see him. A player scoring that many goals. It's just a stupid kind of question, isn't it? To even think that he's not involved.
That'd be ridiculous.
So, yeah. But yeah, like. It's an interesting kind of thing. I know, like Callum Robinson's another one who's not in there. I think he must be injured, or he's just not getting a run of games.
That was a question that was asked there. Yeah, I can't see anything for him there. That's unfortunate.
Again, that's what I'm saying. These windows are so mad. They're mad, aren't they? Like, you know, it's every 3-4 months, and you could be the kind of hot property, the main name, and then all of a sudden, you're not there anymore because you've gone off the ball, or you might be injured, and then someone else comes in. That's just international football. And I do think, and I know I've said in the past with Evan Ferguson, I think you can't not have a 19-year-old who's playing in the Premier League outside of that squad. You know, he would qualify for the under-21s. There's no need to drop him down to that level. Just get him in there, show him love, look after him, get the senior pros around him, knuckle down if that's perhaps any way a kind of influence. And build that future around him and give him that opportunity to do it. I think that's really important from this window. I think actually what we need to do around this window is really look after him. We want to kind of get him involved and have a really positive window for him, so he goes back to Brighton and he kicks on again.
Hopefully,
the season,
because we need him firing. Also, just some other bits of news with the squad, and then we're going to get into the comments that are coming in. Keep them coming in, by the way. We're gonna be on live. Till basically the comments run out, so keep going. Tom Cannon, he was asked about Tom Cannon, and who's obviously, how has Tom Cannon done actually for Preston lately?
He's gone off the boil a little bit, hasn't he?
He has, hasn't he? But basically, this is what he had to say. Look, Tom is concentrating on his club stuff. It's as simple as that. That was it, said O'Shea, who was then asked if he was worried Cannon would not declare for Ireland. No, I have no worries like that at all. Yeah, well, especially if he's not banging the goals in at the moment. I'm going to have a look here, actually. Transfer market. Because I remember he was absolutely, banging him in for Preston. And I've heard absolutely nothing. So let's have a look. I'm here on transfermarket.com. And detailed. Sorry, bear with me, folks. And that has given me absolutely nothing. Oh, that is so annoying. Yeah, come on. Oh, I don't know. It's gone wrong. Sorry, folks. We'll get back to it. If somebody out there, part of the Raw Faithful, come on. You got a part to play in this too. Tell me what Tom Cannon's form has been like. I try to go on there and it's gone. So we'll move it on. Also, another member of the Ireland squad, or somebody who Stephen Kenny was after, apparently just before the end, was Casey McAteer, Leicester City. He's also gone off the boil as well. He was asked about that, but apparently he might have featured but he was injured as well. That's I think the 19-year-old Casey McAteer. And also the FAI have also confirmed that the under-21 captain Joe Hodge and Brighton's Andy Moran, who's on loan at Blackburn, who's done brilliantly, by the way, with Sammy Smollett in the Championship, will both link up with the senior squad for the Switzerland game 4 days after Jim Crawford's side take on San Marino. So you might see a couple of players there drop out of the squad. Martin, are you...
You do have to remember though, like with this squad, obviously a provisional squad, they've got some games coming up now before they all join up. You know, you would hope they're all going to make themselves available. That's a quite telling of who wants to be involved in Irish football in future. But it does happen, and I'm quite happy to see the FAI kind of planning basically with Jim Crawford that these guys are going to be joining up. And I think as well, I was going to say, you know, Sinclair Armstrong, I think he will come in at some stage as well. Obviously was called up previously. I think that would be a nice reward for him. He's done very well with QPR in a struggling QPR side. I think that'd be good if he does get in there. And I was going to be a bit horrible and say inevitably when Obafemi plays the first game and can't manage the 2 games. But I like to be positive.
You absolute meanie. By the way, I have got Tom Cannon's stuff up here. Yeah, he has done absolutely nothing. Yeah, he was actually out with a back injury for a lot of last year. This season, but last year, September, he missed all of September, all of October, the early part of November, and then he's got 2 goals. He got a brace in a 4-1 win over Huddersfield, and he's got an assist. But that was in January, and then in February he got an assist in a 2-1 loss at home to Middlesbrough. So he has gone completely off the boil. So there you go. Right, Martin, are you ready for the comments?
I am, of course.
Just before we do that, just a reminder, we are going to get to those comments, by the way. Loads of them coming in. Brilliant stuff. We will be live. No live show on Patrick's Day. No live show this Sunday. We will be back live 9:30 next Wednesday, and we're going to have the window preview. We will be on for that because I fly out to Ireland the very next day, and hopefully the game's on the game's on a Saturday, isn't it? Yeah, so I fly in on the 3rd. Sorry, you know, I get so excited with international window. I just lose all. It's like Christmas, you know. It's like match day -1. That's Christmas Eve, and then you know, I know you love all that sort of talk. Yeah, I actually fly into Ireland on the Thursday, the 21st, and then be going to the press conference on the 22nd, and can't wait for it. Anyway, so no podcast this Sunday. But we will be on the Wednesday, 9:30, and we'll be live with a window preview. Right, let's get into the comments. First one up, we've got Chris on YouTube. Great shout from Nick, in fairness, with the Brady inclusion. Yeah, he was on the money there. The aim on 1976, Robbie Keane from 66-1 to 6-1. Actually, just the latest odds there. According to Paddy Powers, he is 10-1. Lee Carsley is still 17-20 favourite, and Willie Sagnall has gone into 5-1 with Gus Poyet 15-2, and Anthony Barry 17-2. Nothing really changed there. John O'Shea's 10-1. John O'Shea was actually asked, Martin, wasn't he, about have you spoken to the incoming manager? And he just says, I've spoken to myself.
Oh,
what did you make of that?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Is he? I wouldn't be surprised. I'm actually the more it's a difficult one, isn't it? The more I think about it, the more I think this is a dress rehearsal a little bit, and there's no pressure in it. But I think he does well. I think he's definitely a candidate, and I think that's what he will be thinking as well. And yeah, I've got no problem with it, like with him, because I just think if we can't get Carsley, I think there's not any other real viable candidate who fits in with that profile of it. So it could be that. And
did you hear, little Tweety Bird, that a particular manager was in Dublin Airport the other day?
Oh yes.
Yeah. We heard from a very reliable source that certainly Lee Carsley was in Dublin. Was at Dublin Airport. Do with that information what you will. But
that is we've seen picture evidence of that as well.
We've actually seen a photo. We've actually seen a photograph of it, and yeah.
But I
don't know.
For me, I've kind of been kind of firmly in the camp of wanting Carsley. When I think about the whole pathway chat and all that kind of stuff, what Mark Cannon wants to do. At the same time, though, I think John O'Shea does fit that bill without the experience, but I think it will be Carsley if they can get it across the line. And I know even like Irish fans today on chats were asking me, "Oh, is the English under-21 press conference, streamed live or anything? Can we see if he's going to be asked about it?" I don't think they do that with England, to be honest. They just announce the squads. They don't do all that stuff. So it was.
I never thought of that.
Yeah,
that's one thing to actually. Anyone out there? Here's another one. I love giving the Raw faithful little tasks because you guys are brilliant. Can anyone out there have a look and see if they know when the under-21 squad, English under-21 squad, was announced? Was it announced today with the English squad, the senior squad? Actually, the senior squad was announced, wasn't it today?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
And if there was anything on that. Anyway, right, we better get through these questions. Eric, who should be the starting 11? Let's have a mass debate. Well, has he just made me say masturbate?
Yeah, he has. Yeah, but
you don't need to trick me into doing that. No, never mind. Well, Queevy Geller should start, really, I suppose. We'll get back to that. Darrell O'Connor. Just imagine the squad with a front four of Mikey Johnson, Ogbenny, Smolix, and Ferguson. I doubt I can get the corner flags after the match since he likes being on the wing. Good man, Darrell. I like Darrell. We'll be seeing you, young man, in Dublin next week. Did I tell you I like Darrell, Martin?
Yep, just a bit.
Yeah, he's a good lad. Jason Fitzsimmons. Hi, David and Martin. Quite happy with the squad. Great to see Sammy and Azaz in the squad. Is Alan Brown and Ryan Manning injured? Strange they're not in the squad. Alan Brown is having a minor procedure done, and Ryan Manning is ill, so he might come back in for the Switzerland game, probably a bug or something like that. Graham Farrell. Marto saw me comment earlier. No bunting or party poppers, but a shirt on a mannequin. Also subscribed and watching on YouTube, but can't comment.
I don't know.
I don't know. You can comment. There you go.
Yeah.
We've just read your comment. Yes, he's quite happy. What have we got written there? COD in the squad. Jesus Christ. You see what I have to put up with, folks. Glad you're well, by the way, Graham. Great to get you on YouTube. Fantastic stuff. Graham Farrell, friend of the pod. You're all friends of the pod, really. Not really, you are. Drew Hayes. Firstly, love the pod. Keep up the good work, guys. I think the squad is quite well balanced. Don't have too much challenge. It's all a bit subjective, though, and that's why we love it. Thank you very much, Drew, for your kind words. We really appreciate it. Thank you very much. Yeah, it is. I think it is a balanced squad. I think is a decent blend in there. Maybe what would have been like Martin if there hadn't been so many injuries. But he doesn't have an out-and-out left back, but he does have a lot of people that can play left back. So he's kind of covered there a bit, isn't he?
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, that's it. John O'Mahony. Whatever happened to CJ Hamilton and Marcus Harness playing for Ireland? Jesus, you know what? Marcus Harness, he actually brought him over, Kenny, didn't he? He was at Pompey at the time, League One. And he brought him in to kind of show off to the crowd. It was a bit subdued, as you can imagine. And just haven't heard from him since, have you, Marcus Harness?
Nah, he's not at the level, sadly.
No, he's not at the level of Callum O'Dowda. Graham Farrell. No, what? I'm giving him a compliment.
Ridiculous.
I'm giving him a compliment. A little bit back.
Hamilton played though, didn't he? Did he play in Andorra at the time?
He did. Hamilton. Blackpool, wasn't he?
Yeah, but he did. He
did.
Harness still away, but.
Harness never did. Graham Farrell, be interesting to see if Smolix turns up for this one. Good to see some interesting fresh faces in the team. I think he will. I think the issue it wasn't that he wasn't committed to the squad, we're led to believe, or Stephen Kenny. It was the fact that his partner was heavily pregnant, and I don't know anything more about that. Was to do with that. Maybe it was a difficult, complicated process, as some pregnancies can be. And I don't want to dwell on it because I do not know. But I think it was to do with that. But thankfully, the child has been born healthy. And so maybe that will clear the path. James Agnew, how you doing, James? Writer on greenmachinepodcast.com. We will be changing that name, I swear. Evening, lads. Great to be gearing up for games again. Smonix O'Brien and his ass included is great news. O'Shea cut a very assured figure with the media today as well. Just going back to what you said there, Martin. It's just that media training, isn't it? It's that Premier League media training. And obviously he would have done his coaching badges through the FAI and all that. Like he's obviously very comfortable in front of the camera, isn't he? You know,
yeah, not phased. He's giving it how it is and being very honest and upfront and stuff. You know, there's no pressure on at the moment now, is there? So we've not seen him kind of grilled with a big question. He's gone with a very safe squad. He's not left anyone out and caused controversy. He's got answers for everyone who's omitted or not in there. Like he's not had to cut anyone. It's not a competitive squad in the sense that he's had to upset anybody. You know, we will think that Coleman will be captain, won't he? Like that's not a controversial thing. Yep. Maybe that would have been something if Coleman's not fit. Then who is your captain? That may be something that is going to be speculated on. But
yeah, obviously definitely Coleman, and obviously John Egan, the vice captain. He's out. Duffy
and Duffy. Yeah,
it'd be interesting. Oh, I just saw this one here. Alexis Brooke, James, you have a fan. James Agnew, hey, can you add me back? Let's become friends. There you go. You're doing well there, James.
So and again the next one.
And Alexis
on fire.
Yeah, John Mahoney as well. Jesus, lads, you're fighting it out for Alexis. Jesus, those spam fucking people. Drew Hayes, Ari Manning, not fussed, he ain't in nothing against it per se, but I think he is ineffective and has a mistake in him. Whilst he was good delivery, not as good as Brady. I think that's true. He seems to lack a lot of pace as well, doesn't he, for left back? Ryan Manning, he does have a good shot in him, but yeah, he does seem to have it like for Ireland. He does seem to have an L mistake in him, but he might feature again in Switzerland. For the Switzerland game. Aaron Aries, absolutely happy out with that squad. One worry is Nathan Fraser, not in the under-21s. Any worries about him, lads, or just resting for Wolves? Jim Crawford, did Jim Crawford talk about him? Did you hear about that? About Nathan Fraser?
I didn't read anything today about that, no, at all. So, yeah, it's just one of them. You know, we're going to have that problem, dual or multiple eligible players. It's always going to be a factor if they're left out. It's going to just leave rise to speculation. Not too worried about it because I think we've got to just build forward.
Okay.
Build on this now going forward.
I've just gone on the independent.ie because, you know, it's been asked. So the headline is Ireland under 21 boss Jim Crawford distanced himself from Bohemia's job and reveals Wolves Nathan Fraser asked not to be called up. Oh, Jesus. Here we go again. The striker was born in Wolverhampton and has been capped for Ireland at under 19 level, but Crawford revealed Fraser asked not to be called up out of fear of picking up an injury. I've had a few conversations with him at this point in time. He's the only fit striker at the club. He certainly is a bit apprehensive about being injured, said Crawford. He sees an FA Cup game this weekend against Coventry. There's a strong possibility he will start, and the next Premier League game is Aston Villa, a massive derby. He does think over the next while he will get Premier League experience, which is great for him. I know people are going to read that and go, oh, here we go. But I'll be honest with you, that kind of makes sense because, let's be honest, he wouldn't have started the weekend in the Premier League. Nothing against Nathan Fraser, but he wouldn't have if it wasn't for the fact of a mass injury crisis. So he's probably told by his club, to be fair, now people think, oh, here we go, Declan Rice or Tom Cannon. But to be fair, I can see them actually saying that, do not go. And it's on the under-21s game, so... You know, we'll see.
Yeah, plenty of time. You plenty of time. He's doing well now. He's in. You know, it's totally different to I think the Evan Ferguson thing. Whereas Evan Ferguson needs a bit of love and needs to be kind of arm around the shoulder. And John O'Shea probably saying, "Look, you're so important to us, and you've done really well, and now knuckle down and stuff." This guy is on the start of his career. He's got into that now. He doesn't want anything unsettling him with that. You know, he could get an injury and. I've no problem with it at all if that's the way he wants to go at the moment. He's not established. He's not established in a club. Yeah. Like when you make that breakthrough, very physically demanding on their bodies as well. These young lads, it's such a different step up and level. So
Gary Neal Gary Neal has probably said to him, "Do not go if you get injured." And to be fair, when you need to, and if you're at that level, you're 19, your career is quite precarious. your position in the club could be quite precarious, and he gets injured, he could hold it against him. They always said he won't, but let's be honest. Going back to Drew Hayes, this is about Manning. He has pros, of course, but I've watched Southampton this year and listened to their fans who are not Irish and more objective, and his cons definitely outweigh the pros, in my opinion. Very interesting from Drew. I haven't always been overly impressed by Ryan Manning, but I do think he should have been in the squad over certain players, or given an opportunity over certain players in the squad. Grid One YouTube, hi lads, I love the podcast as always good discussions, very happy with that squad. Grid One, thank you very much, we're glad you enjoy it. Spread the word if you can, if you wouldn't mind. I don't think there's too many issues with that squad, to be fair. It's a good maintenance squad, keeping the door open for many players for the next manager, whoever that may be. Daniel Granahan, decent squad, but it's Brady the new McLean. I know left back winger that might be okay with corners. Oh, I don't think Nick could like that. Connor McAvoy from Republic of Ireland Tracker on Twitter, he said that to Nick, didn't he? Nick was like, "Oh, he's one of our best players," and he said, "No, he's just got a wandable left foot." It's just sort of shot it down. Could be. Look, to be honest with you, I think Brady's in there because he's experienced, and also we don't have a left back, and I think he's just in there. He's probably could be one of his very last squads, maybe last couple of squads he'd be in my opinion. Jason Fitzsimmons asks, do you reckon Shane Duffy will be back in a squad or being phased out? I think he'd be phased out, to be honest.
Not sure. Like, this Egan thing's kind of worrying, isn't it? He's been out quite a long time, and not going well with Sheffield United. We say we're very blessed with centre backs and stuff, and we kind of are. But and even McGuinness is one at Cardiff who I think would be quite
and ball playing centre backs as well.
Yeah. But yeah, I'd be hesitant to kind of say no, he's finished, Shane Duffy, because he'll be one who will be counted on and will take the call up if needed. As a backup. He was fit now, and we know he's not fit, but yeah, it's just what it is, really. I think,
I think the other lads of the future. But when he's in the squad, he's liability. Like he against Scotland, he made a few last ditch clearances, but they were actually from his mistakes coming out. Graham Farrell, Robbie Brady listed as a defender. The fuck? Glad McGrath's in, as he's playing well in a struggling Aberdeen side. But I think it's more because Manning and Dave McGuinness here. Brady is finished. Thanks for memories. Manning, very, very hard done by. McGrath, not so sure. To be fair to David on those comments, that was made about half an hour ago, and that was probably before we cleared up that Manning is actually ill. That's why he's not in the squad. So, yeah, he might come in, though. Dave McGuinness, Moran's cap in November seems a total waste of time now after Kenny Short changed the under-21s. To cap him in a dead rubber match, he may cost the under-21s dearly with that move. That's true, I had to agree with Dave McGuinness. That was so silly. That was the game against Holland, wasn't it? Or Netherlands in Amsterdam. And he would have been captain against Italy. And he really needed him. And he didn't do anything. It was so stupid that was. That was one of those bizarre... I don't want to put the welly into Stephen Kenny, but that was just one of those weird decisions that was made, wasn't it? You kind of go, what are you doing? But anyway. M&H on YouTube. Disappointing that McAteer missed out through injury. I assume he would have taken the spot of Sykes or Dowda. Do you reckon he would have taken
Sykes' position?
Sykes, yeah. Yeah. Not biased at all there, Evan. I mean, we need young blood, especially midfield. Attacking players but hopefully he'll get a crack in June. Wayne Long, how you doing, Wayne? I don't mind Brady. He has a wand of a left foot, maybe back to old set piece routines. He's not a bad player to have. He's a good plan. To be fair, he's a good plan B. If you're chasing a goal and you need something from a set piece, it's not happening.
Yeah, I mean, set pieces. You think like Alan Brown, Horahan, Brady were all involved previously with those. So yeah, you have to kind of think now who's on them. Maybe Will Smallbone. Maybe he would be kind of a technical kind of player to take them. So yeah, it's just it's a strange one. Having Brady in there, again, it's
a main. I think it's a maintenance squad for me. It's somebody who's still playing at a good level. It's not like McLean, who I don't know. I still see him coming back at some stage, like a major injury crisis. And he's playing the fourth tier of English football. He's still playing at a good level, second tier of English football. So yet again, it's a maintenance squad. He doesn't want to shut the door on anybody for the new manager coming in, unless that player has shut the door themselves. Evan H. still aboard a Carsley train? Yes, absolutely. I think he's still going to get it, as I've said previously, and I'll say it again. The FAI, I think, are making token gestures to get him in. That is my opinion, by the way. I have no inside information on that. We went from 4-3-3. We got to play 4-3-3. That's why Vera Pauw was given the elbow, apparently, because he wanted to go to that sort of style. All of a sudden, it's Kilban comes out and goes, well, who are you to dictate who Lee Carsley, if he gets the job, what style of football he plays and what staff he has. And all of a sudden, you've gone from 4-3-3 and you have to have FEI staff too. Well, I know you can kind of have if you want, and you can play whatever style of football you want. And you hear Brian Kirsch should be brought in by Killer Caban. And all of a sudden well, John and I had a collaborative process, and I've basically told him, you're bringing in Brian Kerr as a technical advisor. And I think all these things are brought into appease at the FAI. Lee Carsley. I could be wrong. That is my opinion. I have not heard that. I am just putting that together. Do you agree with me or not? Let us know. Do you agree with me, Mark?
Yeah.
Good man. We're both going down together. See that? I've just like dragged Martin down with me. I'm going down. I'm taking you with me, pal. Dan Tay on YouTube. Who's your starting centre half, lads? Does Scales move to left back to try and get as many of them in as possible? Has to be.
Depends if they go 4-3, doesn't it? I think they'll go 4. I think they'll. I think. Yeah, I think Scales could easily, or O'Shea could even go left back.
I could see personally O'Shea, Amabomadeli, Collins, and I could see Shane. I could see him going experience Seamus Coleman as a right back. I hope he do, or if not, it'll be Doherty. Maybe Doherty left back. He'll probably do something like that. But I think Amabomadeli and Nathan Collins. I'd like to see those two. That's the future, isn't it? Really.
Yeah.
Dave McGuinness, we need to find a new set piece maestro. He's played about 20 games, 6 years. He's not wrong. Dave, that's on Robbie Brady. David McGuinness again. Did O'Shea even look at the League of Ireland? Is there a standby list? If so, who is on it? There's no talk of a standby list, was there?
There's not. No, there's not.
Actually, sorry.
There will be.
Sorry, there is. From the under-21s, Joe Hodge and Andy Moran.
Yeah.
So Joe Hodge and Andy Moran will come in from the under-21s. That's what's happening.
And perhaps and Sinclair Armstrong.
Yes, and
there
David
you
McGuinness
go.
touched on. Yeah. Possibly Armstrong.
I'll be honest. Why would you look at the end of the League of Ireland? Like, there's no one in there that stands out for me. I'll be honest. I don't know much about it. Don't follow it enough to know. But this is a safe maintenance squad in a sense, and I don't think that's really what he has to do as an interim manager. He doesn't have to look at that and think, what is there coming through there that I might need to raise the profile of.
He has to think inside the box, not outside it. He has to tick the box. He has to basically make sure, John O'Shea has to make sure that he is not closing the door on any player. Noel King, to his credit, imagine Noel King and Don Gibbons' dream team, eh? Taking over. But Noel King, to his credit, when he took over from Trapattoni, his first squad, he brought in all the players that that Trapattoni had exiled. And you read that sort of, that's what an interim manager does. And let me tell you something, he would have been speaking to the guy who's coming in. John O'Shea knows who's coming in. They all know. And they would have been chatting away to him there. Graham Farrell, O'Brien and O'Shea would be my starting centre-backs. Have a good look at them. We know what Collins can do. Amabomadeli, at least a half in both. That's the thing, they are friendlies. They can experiment. I do reckon you get a lot of I reckon in both games, Martin, you get a shit ton of substitutions, won't you? It'll be like ridiculous. He'll max out the subs.
He should do. I think he should cap them and bring them in and give them experience and stuff. I don't think this is anything that you need to do. Like this, an opportunity to do it. It's a no lose for me. He can he can do that, have the opportunity, and reward people for being available for the squad and showing it, demonstrating really that you're part of the future of Irish football. The new manager is going to come in and obviously pick on merits, but yeah, that's what I think will happen.
This comment I love.
No, just move on from this one.
Dave McGuinness, you diabolical Dave McGuinness. Sorry, just making sure I've clearing the old no coffee left. Dave McGuinness has commented, why is O'Dowda even within Arse's roar of that squad? I'll repeat that comment, Martin. Why is Callum O'Dowda, even within an Arse's roar of that squad? Do you want to point to your jersey, Martin? Do you want to do that? Yeah, there we go. Why is he even within an Arse's roar of that squad? Go on, Martin.
I think I explained it earlier. It's like Robbie Brady as well. You know, you've got a player who's been involved in squads, knows the setup. Nothing, I don't think there'd be much expectation of him. But if you ask him to do a job, he'll do it. Yeah, he's a squad player for Ireland ultimately, and yeah, like he's come back into fitness
yet again.
Really, no, but like it's not going to be. Yes. Yeah, but it's not going to be the decision of John O'Shea unless he gets the full-time job to phase him out. So he's available. It's a problem area, as I've said as well. Like you got to remember, James McLean's not there anymore. It is a problem area, that left side.
Bigger problem he's in it.
No, but it is something that I think he's not going to make that decision to cut him out. He could have easily just said you're not in it because just returning from fitness from injury. Sorry,
I know. I jest. Yeah. But look, Callum O'Dowda is not a left wing back. We discussed that at length on the last episode. He is a left-sided midfielder. He's not a wing back at all. It was very unfair.
Right winger.
Sorry, yeah. I mean, but he's a winger. He's a winger. Yeah. He plays midfield. It was very unfair. I know I've probably been a bit unfair on Callum O'Dowda, but it was very unfair on Stephen Kenny to ask him to play as a wing back.
The point I was just going to come into there when you're saying it is like that Greek game.
Yeah.
Massively exposed him to that, and he didn't protect him with that at all. And that's
why would you play him in that position when you saw he was dreadful against Norway?
No, I know what you're saying, but like I just think it's not a reflection on O'Dowda's ability. I don't think it was.
He's not.
The manager's asked you to do something, and you've worked on it in training. You think, I can do it, and then you get absolutely.
Yeah, he actually hung him out to dry in that one. To be fair, like in all honesty, Stephen Kenny, that was not his intention, but he hung that out to dry in that one. To be fair to him, I did actually read a piece on him. He seems like he's in a very good place, even though he's had a lot of injuries. He says he's actually dealing with a life coach because he's had what 2 or 3 career-threatening injuries, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's had a lot of injuries.
Yeah, so
speedy kind of winger. The groin problems he's had, ankle injuries as well, quite serious ones. So fair play to him coming back from him, and I think even under Mick, I remember like him being left out on a match day squad of the 25th man or whatever it was, I think that was quite disappointing for him at the time. I think he's quite quiet in a sense, so. Yeah, it's just a strange one for him in a way. Like, promised quite a bit. It's a big opportunity. If you think about his career, his profile was actually raised from playing for Ireland, and that got him moves and things. And
those injuries I think those injuries have done so much damage to him, because any sort of experimentation. Running on or whatever, like when you have those injuries, there's the mental aspect as well. I can imagine that's why he tucks inside and he plays it safe. And I know that's not what you really want. It's certainly not what you want from a wing back or an attacking midfielder, but you got to look at it from that side of it. It's like, well, he's hardly going to be going on mazy jinky runs, but anyway. Footy Rob was sceptical when O'Shea was announced as interim manager, but delighted with the backroom team and pleased with his squad. Yeah, decent squad. Brian Kerr, haven't heard from him or anyone really. It's just been John O'Shea, really, hasn't it? He's handling the whole thing. Cormac Prendergast Has to be a family member, isn't it?
No.
Oh, there you go, Cormac. Sorry to hear that you share the same name as Martin. Only just joined. So sorry it has been, if it has been said, but is Callum Robinson injured or has he just not been selected? He just hasn't been selected. I think he's just come back from an injury, so not sure what's happened there. Evan H, this is to me. Harsh to say Cullen is having a hard time. He started in the last 2 games and was arguably the best player in both games. I know, Evan, but you see, I'm a bitter, petty man. And when I nail my flag to the mast, I have to stick with it. Because if you probably didn't catch it at the beginning of the season, but Martin and I had a bit of a disagreement about Josh Cullen and Burnley. What did you say? That Burnley would stay up and Vincent Kompany would be plucked from Burnley, Martin, wasn't it? And be offered a top job in the future?
I did say that I was quite impressed with
Yes, you
Vincent
did.
Kompany. And to be fair, I think he's a very rare kind of manager who's sticking to his guns of how he wants to play. Now he's
get relegated.
Proven that you can't do that in the Premier League, basically. So that's why we have the likes of Big Sam and people come in who can know that you get 31 points or 32 points and you stay
10
up.
points from safety.
Yeah. So
10 points from safety.
Yeah. So I think, he's just stuck to his guns. It's not worked out. Josh Cullen is going to learn an awful lot from playing at that level, and they will go down. They'll come back up probably.
Yeah.
And that's, I think he's an important player that within their squad though. So he's always stood out for me and them. Yeah, like a very good.
And also as well, didn't they get a player though to actually replace Cullen? Look, the thing I've always said about Josh Cullen, Evan, is that I don't think he's a Premier League player for that role. I know he does play a different role, doesn't he, for Burnley? He plays a more attacking role for Burnley. He sits as an anchor, doesn't he, in Ireland's midfield?
Yeah, no, he sits with them as well, though. But he does get forward a bit more, probably a bit more of a license to get forward.
But the issue I've always had with Josh Cullen is his distribution isn't quick enough, and that was an observation, and I think an astute observation from myself. If I say, I just pat myself on the back there. It was the Portugal match, and I was in the south stand with my good mate Stephen Kenny, but Kenny McCoy. Sorry, I've got the heating on. I'm sort of falling asleep. But basically, yeah. And I noticed when he was on the ball, and like Benny was making all these runs, and he was just dithering on possession. And I thought, if this guy plays in the Premier League, he won't be fast enough on the ball. And I think Burnley saw that. He got a guy to replace him. I can't remember him off the top of my head, but that's why I'm saying that about Josh Cullen. I like Josh Cullen. He does seem like a decent player, but he does dither with possession, and that cost us a goal against France. Dave McGuinness, this was also an opportunity to look at the MLS lads, McLean, Ronan, who was an upward curve and brutally ignored by the football messiah. I wonder if you thought about Stephen Kenny. And then also to say, noted on Manning, I didn't know that about him being ill. Fair enough. To be fair, it wasn't really put out there. What I would say, though, about that is, David, is that John O'Shea is not going to, he's going to pick a nice, as we said, a nice, safe maintenance squad and just keep the door open for the next guy. He is the interim manager. He's not going to think outside the box. That's for the next manager to look at those guys. But I do agree. I do think the MLS is something that we should look at. Why not? If we're picking players from the third tier of English football, we're not at the moment, but we did when we didn't have much of an option. Why not? It's a decent level. Fuzzy Rob gives us his 11. Keller, good man. Ebiselli, Collins, Scales, Doherty. I presume Ebiselli on the right, Doherty on the left, Collins, Scales as our 2. Ogbeni, Cullen, Knight, Johnson, Smodics, and Ferguson. It's a very attacking lineup. Jason Knight, he is a terrific player. Jason Knight. Yeah, I wouldn't.
I would say a bit of that, but I don't think he'll start with Smodics. I think maybe Cousin Will. That's another bit of bias there.
You being biased. Derek Williams, another forgotten man. That's a funny one about Derek Williams. He was doing great. He didn't he play against New Zealand, Bulgaria, or he played in those friendlies, and he always did well for us under Mick.
Yeah,
and he was doing well for Blackburn, and all of a sudden he went off to America. And excuse me, I remember thinking, Why is he going to the MLS? Like, he was doing well. Don't know. He must have got a great offer. Footy Rob, who else would you pick bar the injured crew? I don't
It's difficult, isn't it?
I don't think there's really anyone I would have gone with, to be honest with you, Rob. Genuinely, maybe Travers. Although I did feel bad for Travers, like he was doing really well at Stoke, and then he got recalled, didn't he, when Neto got injured for Bournemouth? He's just kind of sitting on his hands on the bench. So yeah, I don't really know, to be honest. Maybe that. Maybe what's the lad's name?
Will Keane.
Will Keane, yeah, he's at Preston, isn't he? He's doing well.
But it's one like, just what you would have thought. Like, but we're Will Keane's not the future though, is he? So it's going to be Evan, and then it's Obafemi, and then it's Troy Parrott and Adam Ida. It's that, and then that's it really. That you've just kind of pushed on past the kind of Will Keane, James Collins, Scott Hogan, that kind of player. It's all just moved on. They didn't really get their run.
Yeah.
Just didn't. Always good squad players, always would turn up, but they're part of the squad. Then they weren't going to get your goals.
No. Aidan then asks, is McAteer injured? Casey McAteer is injured, yes. And John O'Shea did say that he would have considered him. Well, that doesn't mean he would have got in, but he would have been considered. David Beckett has a fellow David. Love the pod, lads, but have to take slight umbrage with Dave, RE comments, and Gallagher. Singing his praises now he's playing regularly for Liverpool, but was disappointed with previous comments, RE's goalkeeping abilities prior to now. As a fellow Liverpool and Ireland fan, didn't think he deserved to be put down previously. Well, to be honest, David, I think what I said about him was it was more when he has played for Ireland, he was sloppy. But it was because of lack. But I did say it was because of lack of match practice, and you have to really judge him when he gets a run at club level to see what he's like. He didn't impress me for Ireland, but it was because of that. And to be fair, now he's got a run in the team. He's done brilliantly. He's actually shown the goalkeeper that we kind of all hoped he was. And yeah, he's been brilliant. But I do think for Ireland, two things when he played was a complete lack of match practice. So he was rusty, and also the complete lack of pressing from Ireland's midfield didn't help. And that's why he was conceding goals outside the box, like Gavin Mizuno as well. But that's my explanation for it. Listen, I'm happy to be wrong. But of course, I'm always going to praise him when he's playing regularly, if he's doing the business. I'll always be fair, David. If I think a player is playing well, I'll say he's playing well, unless Callum doubt it. I will absolutely never admit to that. Even if he's bagging him in, week out, or him or Josh Cullen, or Jeff Hendry, probably. God, that's a growing list. No, but like I'll give credit. I'll seriously give credit where he's due. And if it makes my previous comments wrong, fair enough. But I prefaced that with saying that is because I felt he wasn't getting a run, and I do think, unless he's going to get first team football at Liverpool when Alisson comes back, I don't think he will. He has to move. And I don't want to see him going to Celtic. The hell with that. He needs to be playing in the Premier League. He's a top goalkeeper. He has filled that role, and he's done brilliantly. And fair play to him. But yeah, he can't be sitting on the bench because he will just get rusty. You have to remember, goalkeeper has to play. Training is one thing, but you cannot replicate the real thing. So I stand by my comments. But thank you, David, for your comment. Very much appreciated. Footy Rob, central midfield is a problem. Love to see a change here. Azaz, Moran, definitely Andy Moran, him and Smodix, Moran tearing it up in the championship, weren't they? Linked beautifully. That has been a massive issue for us in midfield. But we did say, didn't we, that players like Azaz and Moran were the ones. I think you and Nick were always saying that, weren't you? That they just weren't there really in time for Kenny. Not saying Kenny would have utilised it properly, but they were. That was the one part. Like the goalkeepers have come at the same time, the defenders have come at the same time, the forwards have come at the same time, but the midfielders just weren't. They were kind of like passing ships, weren't they? You had certain midfielders like Robbie Brady, who Jack Byrne maybe, who had always done well, to be fair, for Ireland, but maybe that ship has sailed for him. It just never really clicked, did it, with the time with these players? And now we have Azaz and Moore on the precipice.
Yeah. I'm delighted. Like Azaz is, I just think he's a big physical kind of dominant kind of player, and I like that. I think that's needed. You want that presence in there. I mean, I know Malumbi's injured now and out for the season, but he puts himself about. Like he offers something a little bit more than Jamie McGrath, and like I don't mind Jamie McGrath, but there's a reason he's at Aberdeen. Like, let's be honest, and some of these players, it's an opportunity now. Like, even I know I jest about O'Dowda and things like that, but he's been overshadowed now and overtaken by Mikey Johnson, Ogbene. They're better players than O'Dowda, so that they're getting their opportunity now, and they're there, and he's now a kind of squad player. I think even some of our midfielders, this is an opportunity now for Azaz to come in, stake a claim, cement your position in that team, really, because it's such an open position, that midfield.
That actually brings on to our next question. Sorry, from Jason Fitzsimmons, who's your midfield three? I think Azaz. Give him a go. Why not?
Yeah.
Is that
either Cullen, Holden,
Knight
and
Knight and Azaz?
Kenny again? Jason Knight. I think he got man of the match in 3 different positions for Ireland.
Yeah.
So what I want to see from him though is cement down a brilliant, a position and play there. Now, will that ever happen? Is he that good that you just say you are our?
But that's
kind of free.
But you see with John O'Shea, but that happened to John O'Shea, funny enough, didn't it, as well?
Yeah, of course it did. Yeah, played midfield for Ireland, like in I think in Paris even, didn't he?
He played for midfield. Don't know if it was Paris, but do you mean on the care?
Yeah. He often came into midfield and then he played.
He played in Switzerland.
At one stage, yeah.
No, I think
Switzerland maybe. Yeah.
No, Keenan Kilbane, I believe, played in Paris. Roy Keane and Kevin Kilbane played in midfield, and it was the Switzerland game at home. Keane was suspended.
That's it, and O'Shea come in.
Yeah, and he wasn't, and it wasn't. I mean, but that was a disaster. That was a damn squib. That particular game, he didn't do much. A good footballer, but he's not a midfielder. And yeah, I think that's very important for Darragh O'Shea. Still young enough. Do not get pigeonholed as a jack of all trades. Pick a position, get pigeonholed in a position, and stick to that and master that craft.
I saw that actually the other day. Like someone posted, like it's however many years an anniversary of when Alex Ferguson picked 7 defenders against Arsenal, including John O'Shea actually, and then he beat Arsenal. Like it was quite, it was loads of injuries and stuff like that.
So. FA Cup, wasn't it?
Yeah,
FA Cup. Yeah, but pretty good player. But yeah, it's very important. Evan H. Opinions on O'Shea claiming Cannon's international situation isn't a worry. Well, to be fair, England aren't really. I know it's going to sound, but maybe I'm being callous. Maybe he just doesn't want the headline. And no, I'm not worried about that, and then moves on. Because
exactly. Perfectly managed that media thing. Yeah. Didn't make it a thing, moved it on. I went, I don't know, not my problem.
Stephen Kenny, you ask Stephen Kenny the time, and he'll tell you how the bloody clock works. Like, you know what I mean? How to build a watch. It's just that was a problem. And he came from the best place, but it just
didn't seem rattled though to O'Shea about that. It just was like, it was literally like, all right, lads, how you doing? Like, and it was very.
This guy was media trained by Man United. Man United were media training players in the early 90s, years before anyone else. Do you know what I mean? So by the time he came in what, 2001 or 2000 for Man United, he was this guy. He's a pro. He knows what he's doing. But yeah, personally, I think with Tom Cannon, England, we probably, without wishing to sound too callous as well. God, I'm very callous. I think you want to get him capped quickly, because let's be honest, if he's banging the goals in and he gets moved to a Premier League club and he's young enough, the English football team is going to be sniffing around him. We've already seen that. He's already had his head turned. But if he's not banging him in, he's not doing the business, are you going to want him? And I know this sounds terrible, but he's already had his head turned, hasn't he? Daryl O'Connor wouldn't have Doherty in either game. I wouldn't either. I think he, it's kind of ironic, isn't it, with Daryl O'Connor? Not Daryl O'Connor, with Matt Doherty, that he was the guy that we kind of wanted to phase out Coleman with a little bit, and now Coleman's outlasting Doherty. Yeah, I'd pick Coleman over Doherty.
Oh, without doubt,
yeah. It's mental how it works. Graham Farrell, people need to look at Ferguson with a bit of perspective. He's 19, scored some goals in a run of form. He's going through a bad spell. It happens. Also, Brighton have dipped as well lately. Give him a break. Fully, yeah. To be fair, Graham, and we've said that here. You know, Brighton are big time going through a bit of a dirt in form at the moment. Knocked out of Europe, hammered in Rome 4-0. I think they won the game 1-0, so maybe they might be buoyed by that. But when a team is in a bad space, when a team is low in confidence, the worst place to play is up front, isn't it? Because you're not going to get the service you need. I think Welbeck scored, didn't he? Did Welbeck score tonight?
Yeah, they went out. They got knocked out.
Yeah, 4-1 in aggregate. Chris says Cannon has had injuries and starts most games on the bench for Leicester. Yeah, he was out with a back problem. He missed all of September, all of October, and November, I think. I said earlier on there. But yeah, he's had a bad run of injuries. Brandon Walsh, yeah, I think I said Preston, didn't I? But yeah, it's Leicester City. He's with Tom Cannon, injured for early part of the season, but on the bench now. And more people pointing out he plays for Leicester. Sorry, lads, we got it wrong. The Podge Quinn on YouTube. It's an opportunity missed to non-inclusive younger lads. The under 21s are only playing San Marino, Armstrong, Moran, and maybe Curtis could have got a call up. Well, Moran will get a call up, and so will Joe Hodge after the San Marino game for the Switzerland game. But do remember, lads, it's a maintenance squad. He's the interim manager. He's not there to think outside the box. He's there to tick the box. And I said irony. The Irish Aviator, how you doing? Very happy to see O'Brien and Smonix featured. Agree, Martin, that Brady will be just good to have around the squad, even if he doesn't play. Yeah, fair. Cannon was injured when Leicester signed him, and it's just competing with way stronger bunch of strikers and what's pretty much a Premier League squad than Preston ever had, says Joe. Great point. Dave McGuinness, some delusional fans don't want Smodics in the team. If his certain name was that of his Irish grandmother, would they be okay with it? That does seem like a strange one with some Irish fans. Like they were, they clearly don't know much about Smodics as a player, and obviously it's a Hungarian name, but they just seem to be a bit weird about him, don't they?
I think no, it didn't help that speculation that he could qualify for obviously and now he can turn around, and it was a very clickbaity article, wasn't it? Because it was going to be more complicated if he did even want to do it. That he could now play in the Euros, and we don't want him then if he's going to be one of them head turners and that kind of thing. So yeah, no, I agree with David. I think he's more than deserved. It's been very frustrating that he's not been in there previously, and now's an opportunity for him. And you can't knock the goals. Like the hardest thing in football, I know it's cliche, but to score goals, and he's doing it in the Championship, which is a real competitive level.
Yeah.
And that's it, and even that's when I go on about Evan Ferguson, the fact he's scoring goals in the Premier League. Okay, they've dried up a little bit now, but you look at like Højlund at United. It took a long time to get him going. As a striker, as long as you're doing the right things, you're fine. But to score goals is the most difficult thing to do, and Schmolix is doing that, and that we can't not have that in our squad or our team. We can't not have that.
No, I mean, it's not as if we're we've got a plethora of talent going through. Baby McGuinness, Manning being out doesn't warrant Brady inclusion. The project is supposed to be about youth. Yet again, I will say to it, this particular one is about keeping it going, ticking over nicely. Drew Hayes, Obafemi is not for me. Compare him versus Smodics. Oba with 23 goals for 4 close spread over 6 seasons. Just not a sustainable long-term goal scorer, in my opinion. Like you often say, Dave, hope you prove me wrong. That's true, but I had to preface that, Drew. What you're saying there, spot on. But it's down to injuries. I think it's just down to injuries.
Different types of players as well. They're massively different. Like the influence that Obafemi has in a game as that type of striker against Schmodics, who's so involved in moves and kind of running on to go, it's totally different types of player, and that we want Obafemi's all-round game to kind of improve. So to Troy Parrott, Callum Robinson as well. Some of these strikers, they just have that little bit about them, which I think Obafemi, not one-trick pony. I think it'd be very unfair to say that, but I think Schmodics as a player offers much more than Obafemi in the involvement in the game. So you can't really compare
No.
it at all.
Fair enough. Darla Connor, love it. Match day -1 is defo Christmas. Match day +1 is Stephen's Day if it's a good result. That's Boxing Day, Martin. You might know that's Boxing Day. Evan H, any chance you could go through the under-21 squad? To be honest with you, Evan, we'd love to, but it's just we'd be here all day.
I can run through it. Well, yeah, I've got it.
No, go for it. Go for it.
All right, so goalkeepers are Tiernan Brooks, Josh Keeley. He's at Barnet, actually, on loan from Tottenham. Doing very, very well there. I've got a few people who are Tottenham fans talking to me about him. And I also know that some of the Tottenham senior players often go and watch and support him. He's done very, very well. I was actually at Tottenham training ground event a few weeks back, and they were talking about him. I think I actually mentioned on the pod as well. Andrew Wogan's another goalkeeper there. Then you got Teo. Defenders are Teo Adaramola, Sam Curtis, Anselmo Garcia McNulty, Sean Grehan, Bosun Lowell, who I absolutely love and think is going to be a brilliant player in future, Alex Murphy, Conor O'Riordan, and Sean Rowan. And then midfielders is Baba Adiko, Zach Gilson, Matt Healy, Joe Hodge, Andrew Moran, Killian Phillips, Rocco Vata. The strikers are Sinclair Armstrong, which brilliant to see him there, Callum Kavanagh, Marco Mahoney, and Ollie O'Neill. So that's our and also Armstrong, Okaflex, and Tony Springer. But that's our under-21 squad. Interesting ones that I think brought in there as well. That he and like I was saying earlier, but the under-21 England, everyone was obviously wanted to see is do they do a press conference? I know that Jim Crawford does, because he was actually asked about was he interested in the Bose job apparently, and he kind of refuted that and said he wasn't. But it's an interesting squad that, and I saw some people kind of being a bit diggy about Jim's going to play Bosun Lowell, who plays in midfield as a defender, because that's what he's classed him as. But yeah, look, Sinclair Armstrong, I think, is a real key player for us going forward. Very much like he does kind of very much Obafemi vibes about him. The big build athlete, but I think probably maybe a bit more than Obafemi. So I'm excited to kind of see how he gets on with the under-21s. And you could say, yep, they should bring them. They're only playing San Marino, but let them go and hammer San Marino and get loads of goals and have a fantastic kind of experience of doing that.
Enjoy. I mean, we have, we have some good strikers. We got some good players. We need to gel those guys together. Going to continue. We got loads of comments. We're going to try and get through them as quick as we can. Stephen Ring, King Bottle tonight. We're 4-1 in the first leg of Europa League. Lost 6-1 tonight, 7-5 in aggregate. Oh dear, Claudine will not be happy with that. Craig Farrell, he's probably late for the Stags. Oh dear. Grid 1, I think Gus Byatt will get it for some reason. Due to a comment Cana made with contractual obligations in March, his contract ends after the play for Greece, I believe. Be happy with that. I don't know. I still think it's going to be Carsley. I still think it'll be Carsley. Stephen Ring, no De Bruyne or Courtois in Belgian squad. Just don't fancy it, Stephen. Footy Rob, Carsley's getting the job in the backroom team is what's in now.
Agree, Footy Rob. I agree with that. I think that is possible.
I do, yeah. Maybe one or two additions. Stephen Ring, thoughts on Nathan Fraser saying he wanted to stay with Wolves rather than joining under 21s. Apparently said he wants to stay in Wolves because he's the only fit striker. To be honest with you, Stephen, I could actually see that be the case. I know it's very easy to look at that, and we mentioned earlier on. I can imagine Gary O'Neill saying to him, "What you're going to go with the under 21s? You're my only fit striker," and that probably has absolutely put the fear of God in Nathan Fraser. He's only 19. He doesn't want to jeopardize his career. So I could actually genuinely see that happening. Martin Fitzpatrick, Rangers not coming home, coming to Dublin. No, they're not, which is hilarious, actually. They lost 1-0 at home to Benfica. In fact, they almost beat Benfica last week 2-1, but last minute goal. Devastated. Deck Finnegan, how you doing, Deck? Does Mark Sykes deserve a place? Not a regular first choice for Bristol City. He always, I was mentioned earlier on, he always seems to get in there without actually doing much.
He'll just know the setup, though. Again, like he'll know the kind of set out the plan of all the the intelligence, but just all the
maintenance squad
stuff. Yeah, they'll know. He'll know what it's about.
Yeah. Graham Farrell, okay, if that was the case, that's understandable, and I wish Sammy all the best. That was to do with him not being in the squad. Stephen Ring, I'm really excited to see Asaz in the squad. And the more I see Messi Johnston, the more I'm impressed by him. Do you know what? I was like, he's doing it in Portugal. Let's see what he's like. And he was brilliant for Ireland, really going at him, old school winger. Then, Celtic, he's not really getting a game of Celtic. And you think, okay, he goes to West Brom in a much tougher league in the Championship, and he's tearing it up. Brilliant. Chris Monix has said the phone never rang for the last Ireland squad, but Kenny said he never included him due to his personal reasons. Someone is telling the truth here. Okay, yeah, maybe there was a bit of a fallout there. We don't know. You'll hear about that. I'm sure it'll all come out. If he scores a hat trick or something, and the next squad comes about, and where everyone's like, absolutely waxing, just loving this guy, I reckon he'll probably come out and say, well, actually, this is what happened. Evan H, English under 21s is announced tomorrow at 10 a.m. Thank you, Evan. I had a quick look at it there. We'll be watching that one. That'll be interesting. Now, if he comes out in that and says, if they do a press conference and says, no, I'm not interested, I'm not going anywhere, then I'll actually be I'll have to rethink. Darryl, I might have to do another state of play, Martin. Darryl O'Connor, all my times on Alive and Lexus Brooke never asked me to be friends. I know, Darryl, but James just has the. Actually, James has just texted us there in the group. I think we've gotten in a bit of trouble there. It is a bot, by the way, if you're watching. Graham Farrell, Jay's Alexis, am I chopped liver? They're all a bit jealous here, aren't they? Chris Stain Fraser turned it down due to fears of getting injured, which I think is fair. Glenn Forrest, any thoughts on how to play, fellas? Will it be a bit of a Kenny, or are we reverting to hoof and hope? Thanks for the great show. Thank you very much, Glenn. No, I think he'll mix it up, won't he?
Yeah, mix it up,
yeah. I can't.
We'll play. We'll try to play. We've got enough creative. Jesus, I would personally, I'd love to see him go Bene on the right and Evan up front and Johnson on the left, and then just very solid in behind and just get that ball forward to the front three in a sense, and midfielder in behind. But like Will or Shimonik's in time as well. We'll definitely I'd like to see that, and then the rest of it's just kind of contained and safe and tidy and professional. But I think, I think it's an exciting kind of team there, even what I just said there. So you don't have to go long and play football, and we're not going to go back to that. I don't want to see us go back to that.
No. I
think
many
talented players in there. Yeah,
I think Mick 2002 makes it up a physical. Stephen O'Rourke, I think all the players should be getting game time, and if they can't get it with the clubs they are with, they need to move and get minutes played. Colm, all right, lads, how you doing, Colm? Graham Farrell, I think Duffy and Evans' days are well and truly done.
Egan's maybe.
Yeah, Egan was like,
yeah, there you go. Then he corrected it. Yeah.
There we go. Daniel Granham, has John O'Shea picked Brady because they may have been a United squad together? Brady for senior team was United as a teenager prospect, and maybe that influenced John O'Shea's decision. He probably knows what he could do in training, and probably just likes him, and probably just sees him. I don't know. Maybe he's doing a mate a favor. You wouldn't know. Would you?
Character around the squad, though. Do you know, like that's it. The character, not going to be an asshole. Senior pro, been there, experienced. Was at the Euros. That's why. Just you need to have that kind of leadership and what they do, and
100%. Graham Farrell, Damon McGuinness is spot on with that. Said that when Kenny took Moran out of the under 21s, that what was the point? 100%. Joe, how are you doing? If Carsley gets it, Warner will he find himself telling Tom Cannon that anything he may have said to coax him from Ireland to England was in fact, on further reflection, just a load of drunk and crazy talk? That is an interesting one. Would that have been Lee Carsley to get him, or would that have been like a scout?
Yeah, scouts in the background team.
Yeah. Com says we have to move on from Carsley, not until he says I'm not taking the job. And even then, I still won't believe it. Even when when another manager is revealed and it's not Carsley, Colm, I'll still hang on to it. Have you not been watching the podcast? It's how I operate, baby. Stephen Ring would like to see Smallbone have a good international break. He had to delete his Twitter account over hate from fans after the Liverpool game. What was that?
Oh no, he got a lot of abuse, didn't he?
Yeah. Jesus. James Agnew, great squad review, lads. Dave will pop up to say hello before the Switzerland game. And Alexis, give me a call. Good man, James. I look forward to seeing you there. As always, have a chat. Noel Fox, the guy from Leicester, what's the story? That's Casey McAteer or Tom Cannon. I presume it's Casey McAteer. He is injured. Stephen Ring, since you said it Monday night, I'm all for Collins as centre midfield with two of O'Shea. I'm a Bombardini and Scales as centre back. Switzerland game would be great time to chance it. John Murphy, I think we're forced into a back three with the players we have. Maybe even play Scales as inverted left back to make it a three in transition, like what Arsenal do with Kiwiria, and let Doherty bomb on. I like it, John. They're very informed, the Raw faithful, aren't they? They love their old tactics. Fucking brilliant. Very creative as well. We did go through the under 21 squad. Noel Fox. Why what? Oh, sorry, bit of chatting in between. Graham Farrell. As much to love the League of Ireland, there's nobody in that league anywhere good enough to be in that Ireland squad at the moment. Aaron Aries, next captain after Coleman, Duffy, etc. Collins or Benny for me. Do you know what? Benny. I'd say Benny is a real. He just seems like he's just like a ray of sunshine in that dressing room, isn't he? He'd be somebody to, yeah. I'd say Benny. Then maybe Collins because he's a bit older than Collins. What happened to Nick? Is he in hiding with Princess Kate? Celtic fans. I'm sure Nick is absolutely fine, and it's all good. I'm sorry, Neri. Is there something wrong with Martin and me? What's the story? Every week, you got us too. What's wrong with that? Nick is absolutely fine, by the way. Dave McGuinness, a lot of players deserve a free pass from the poor performances during the Kenny era. Played out of position and in the system didn't work. I doubt it deserves a bit of credit for being sold down the river by Kenny, but he's not good enough for us and has never played a good game for us. He's very average. Not my words, Martin. The words of Dave McGuinness.
Not true. He's had, I think, at least 2 man of the matches for Ireland.
Who are they against?
The one when he got the assists for Aidan O'Brien, got the header. Do you remember? Was it Switzerland? Played in the right.
Poland.
Switzerland.
Poland
yeah.
away. Okay.
And then he got another one somewhere else, I think. I can't remember the other one, but yeah.
Malta. Was it
No,
Malta?
It wasn't Malta. No, I don't think it was Malta, no. But you did get.
Okay. Stephen Ring meant to have Jacob Bryant in the last comment. Really excited to see him. I see him in person. Been following his spell at Leon, and the fans there seem to love him. Yeah, he's a future Ireland captain, and my God, they said about Jason Lumby, to be fair. Graham Farrell, to be honest about Columbia, the promotion came probably a bit too early for him. This is a massive learning curve, though, but I think there is a coach manager there, though. Do you know what? It happened with Bournemouth, didn't it? Did Bournemouth go up and then he went down, and then he went back up and stayed? Eddie Howe. And I think as well with raspy voice, Sean Dyche at Burnley as well. So it can happen. You go up, you learn, you go back down, you lick your wounds, you go back up, and you adjust. Jack Murphy, Jack Taylor deserved a look in. It's a good shout. Graham Farrell, Gallagher, Ebicelli, O'Shea, O'Brien, Knight, Collins, Benny, Small, Bone, Johnson, and Ferguson. Cousin Will, no doubt though. Dave McGuinness, I met Williams. He went to LA Galaxy as one international player and travelled his weekly pay. There you go. It was a no-brainer. Financial there tier to secured, and recently renewed his contract. He took a career view. Fair enough. He was a good player, really good player. I'm not saying he's not now, but Evan H. Luca Conlon could have been an option as an alternative to Cullen. He's kind of gone off the ball though a bit, isn't he? Where is he at the moment? Is he at Barnsley? Is he? Luca Conlon.
I think so. Yeah.
Graham Farrell, Gallagher, Ebicelli, O'Brien, Doherty, Knight, Collins, Benny, Small One, Johnson, Ferguson. He's got he's got two angry emojis next to Doherty. Dave McGuinness, imagine a scenario. Gallagher goes to Forest or Brentford this summer. Bazuna is bought by Poole as a new number 2. Who will Liverpool fans want as our number 1? I wonder. Gallagher.
Keep going with this. He's got a few more to follow.
Oh, he does, doesn't he? I'll tell you what. I'll joke aside. I don't believe in this tribalistic nonsense. I genuinely don't. Then Alice gets an injury, and Bazzini gets to run of games. Is Keller still the better keeper? I wonder. Jack Byrne should be looked at again if he can stay injury free. Don't underrate him. Just to go back to your point there, Travis, it's he loves playing each other off, loves playing us off each other, doesn't he? It's basically who.
Beep, 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 beep. Are you gonna reverse? Oh no.
No. I'll talk my way out of this one. No, to be honest with you, I think it's if Kelleher. No, hold on. If Kelleher is doing the business, then yeah, you pick him. Kelleher is right now doing the business, so he deserves a run of games. He's played 20 games this season for Liverpool, hasn't he? 20 games. Why not?
Okay.
Yeah.
Just on the Jack Byrne point there, saying that he should be looked at again if he can stay injury free and don't underrate him. Yeah, I think where we will in the next couple of years need to kind of have that Jack Byrne type of player. I actually hoped it was going to be Robbie Brady at one, even when we had Robbie Brady coming into squads late on, is that I'm going to get a bit technical. That we're not the low block podcast, but
no,
when a team just sit in behind you, you need to unlock them, and that's where Jack Byrne's cleverness could come in, and that's where I thought he was going to offer for Ireland. Robbie Brady as well offered that a little bit as well, but that's the kind of player we're going to have to find, whether that's Will, Schmodix, even perhaps. You need to find that kind of very, very clever. I think Jason Knight's got a little bit about him.
I'll tell you what, don't ever accuse me of backing up there, you beeping bastard. I don't know anything about the League of Ireland. And all of a sudden, like David's your pal now, Dave McGuinness. Like, oh well, maybe if Jack go get out of that, will you?
Oh no, I mean, look, I'm just saying that type of player. Not saying Jack Byrne. I mean, look, there's a reason Jack Byrne's not playing in the Championship and Premier League.
Yeah, but he was in the Cypriot League, wasn't he? With
Mick,
yeah. Didn't work. He was actually unlucky to be with that one, to be fair. Graham Farrell, from what I've seen of his ass, he's a good player with an eye for good goal coming from midfield. Not that ship has sailed. That ship has sailed. Hit an iceberg and sunk without trace. That's about Jack Byrne. There we go. Dave McGuinness, Smolix should start. If you throw caution to the wind with any of these new picks, it's him. He could light up the Aviva. Seen him play 4 times this season and live, and he scored in every game. Every time he gets the ball, he looks lethal. I reckon he will start, and I reckon John O'Shea will go back to basics with get at him, lads. Get at him early. Get the crowd on your side, and then take it from there. And I think we will mix it up. I think we'll play a bit of ball. I think we'll get physical. We were too nice under Stephen Kenny. We weren't aggressive enough. That is coaching. That comes from the coach. And John O'Shea knows, because Trapattoni made him a very aggressive player for Ireland, I remember. Or, well, it probably would have been Tardelli. Graham Farrell ran Rovers midfield against Newcastle in the cup, then missed a penalty, but he was class in that game. That's Smanix again.
Yeah, like we want to see that. I want to see Schmodix. Like, I'm just thinking John O'Shea might be a bit safe. I hope he's not. I hope he does go for it and start him. And it would be very damning on Stephen Kenny and Keith Andrews, probably. Not necessarily John O'Shea, part of that kind of team, because I don't know how much he had influence on it. But it'd be very telling if he does start him, because he would be thinking, like, we'll kind of know that, well, actually, you had that. You obviously rated him when you were a coach here, and that voice wasn't listened to in a sense. So it will be very telling, and it will be very damning on Stephen Kenny and that tenure if Schmodix performs really well and is a really good player for Ireland. Because we've got to be going, why weren't you there earlier?
That's a good take, actually, Martin. I'll go with you there now. I'm going to trying to lash through these last few comments here, but I think it's a really good take, because it's a bit like the Chancellor. It's a bit like the Taoiseach, or when the economy tanked, and like the Chancellor or the financial minister or whatever. I can't remember the Irish counterpart, the Minister for Finance, and they take over as Taoiseach to the Prime Minister, and the economy tanks like a year or two later. Goes, well, I didn't know this. How was I supposed to know? But yeah, you were the Minister for Finance a couple of years ago. You would have known a little bit about this, and it's a bit like that with John O'Shea, where it's like, well, hold on, you were part of this coaching squad, so that could be, that could be a real, because he was banging the goals in during that time as well, wasn't he? He didn't have 27 goals, but he was on the way to getting 27 goals. So no, that's.
O'Shea will know the history of that, and straight away he's called him up and he said, "Yeah, I had a conversation when it was very positive." He will know why he wasn't in previous squad. So, you know, it's obviously he thinks he's important enough. I think it's quite telling.
Yeah, Footy Rob Cullen, Malumbi just haven't delivered it. Yeah, it's worth a shake up. Malumbi has a yellow card in every match. Very disappointed with Malumbi. I touted him as an Irish, future Irish captain. Don't know. I like that bit of nasty, that bit of niggle in him. But I don't know what's really happened there. But yeah, he's gone off the boil. Tig Brereton, sorry guys, Brereton, sorry, jumped in late. What's the crack with Ryan Manning? Ill. He is ill. Morris Shorthall, happy Sammy Smodix Day. Good man, Morris. Dave McGuinness, ask Stephen Kenny the time, and he'll tell you the clock is wrong. But it did all the important things right. And we're very disappointed the time is wrong. But there are 40,000 people aware of what time it is, and there's another 40,000 going back to check the time next week. Then we get his Lee Ferguson alone. It's his team. Watched him last week, and there's nothing wrong with him. It's purely the environment around him. As I said, a team's struggling with confidence. Goals are going to dry up. You're a forward. You're not going to get the service you deserve. And you're a manager who's trying to work out what's gone wrong, and you're just going to change it around. You're going to throw shit against the wall and see what sticks. More Shortle, great to have a manager who can string sentences together finally. I think that's what you were saying, Martin, but in a much more polite way. Grid 1 at Footy Rob. I think Malumbi does give us something different to other midfielders. He gets stuck in and pressures the opposition midfield, although sometimes can be reckless with tackles. Graham Farrell, exactly the same as Brendan Rodgers. Oh, dear. And that must be about the sentences, is it? Brandon Walsh, Smodix has to start, or this will be a wasted window again, like the time against Malta when Kenny refused to look at a few different players. 100% agree there, Brandon. More Shorthole. Smodix obviously had falling out with our worst manager ever. Did he play under Steve Staunton? No, I'm just joking.
I knew you were going to do that.
Mine. The situation with Cannon is simple. If he feels he will be good enough, he will choose England. Otherwise, he will settle for us. That's the situation. I can't disagree with that, if I'm being honest with you. And I'm not trying to, I can't, because he already had his head turned. You look at certain players and goes, no, I want to play for Ireland. Smodix, for example, hungry.
Yeah.
They're going to the Euros. They're in the Euros, aren't they? Hungry.
Yeah.
He had a chance to go there. He went, no, I want to play for Ireland. It can be that simple. More short haul. I'm not a massive fan about him either, but would love to see Smodix running off him. We must experiment with Collins in midfield. Yeah. Word of shout in one of the games anyway.
No.
No,
okay. No.
Fair enough.
Like to be honest, Stephen Kenny subbed him, didn't he? Dropped him, I think, even recently. He needs to establish himself as a centre half for Ireland. That's what he has to do. I could not be worrying about playing in midfield. Yeah, he might be capable of it, but we're not that. I know we're desperate for midfielders, but look,
Martin's woken up.
No, but he's definitely got to be. He's got to be thinking Egan's out, Duffy's out. I've got to be the first. He's one who's got to be really looking at the captaincy thing as well. Going, I can be captain of Ireland here, but he's got to cement his place in the heart of that defence. With either Bamadelli or Darragh O'Shea, whoever it is, the Scales.
100% agree. Graham Farrell, he wasn't live with own hand. Was manager. I wasn't playing when Stan was managing us. What's that about?
That's about the worst manager I've ever.
All right, okay. And wasn't fair enough. Sorry, it's late. It's late, folks. Here in England or London, it's and Ireland. 12:15. Conley's playing League One. Taylor is on the bench.
Chet Taylor, and I think perhaps bringing Aaron Conley into it.
Aaron Conley isn't League One; he's Championship.
No, maybe not. Maybe not Conley then.
Not too sure. More Shorthall, Graham Farrell, neither was
Connell. Sorry, it's Connell.
Luca Connell. There we go. Yeah. Barnsley. Yeah. And he said it there, Connell, not Conley. Graham Farrell, Zach Gillison, and Sam Curtis are going to be class to watch coming up. And Samuel Salmo Garlic McNulty is another player I like. Been watching him and Hodge since the 17s. Both fantastic players too. Garcia, not
See, I'm
Garlic.
not gonna... I think we've started something now.
I think we have, haven't we? I tell you what, I bloody love garlic. Um, Evan H. Theoretically, if Carsley is taking the job, who do you think what do you think he says in the presser?
No,
tomorrow?
contractually won't get involved in it.
Yeah,
It won't be even asked.
yeah.
If they will manage that better than I'm not going to say anything. They manage their press conferences.
Are you saying that the FAI don't? I thought today was a very, very lovely press conference, actually, Martin.
Yeah, no, they do a good job. Obviously, the media thing. I'm not gonna knock it. Although,
Damn right.
Although, just flick up the squad announcement again. The squad pick. Yeah, Andrew Omobamidele. Never heard of him.
Don't know what you're talking about.
No, okay. I'm just being bitchy. It's late. I'm being bitchy.
You are being such a bitch. Do you know that? Graham Farrell, just get into the right areas and let the skillful players do the magic. No need to make 30 passes before getting into the opposition half. Crosses into the box and small ball, or whoever plays behind Ferguson, making late runs into the box. Now, football is a simple game. You don't have to overcoach. And you can't play good football on physical. You just get the ball, as you said, ball to the right areas and then play your stuff. Let the floor players do the magic. Give them the freedom and the encouragement to play the game. Daniel Graham, maybe we should be more grateful for Brady. He did score that goal against Italy in the Euros, arguably our last biggest moment of Irish football. I think you are seriously underplaying my first ever media lanyard, Daniel. That was the one. That was the one in 2019. No, you are right. I was there that night. I was pissed until half time and sobered up because I lost my wallet. Cheap Heat Productions podcast. How you do? Cheap Heat Productions podcast. That are you a wrestling podcast, Cheap Heat? That's
I'm not going to start bloody going on about wrestling.
No, it's too. But if you are, well, welcome to the floor. Keller has to start big time game. Has to start big time games lately. Yeah, absolutely. He's been fantastic. Stephen Ring. Maybe Alexis got to Nick first and is now working her way through the group. She hasn't got to me, Stephen. And it's been a barren few weeks. Got a Hoover there the other day. Never mind. Neri Nike, David, you and Martin are great. Well, I'm great. I don't know about him, but it's always best when it's a threesome. Oh, you saucy. Oh, right. Oh, podcast. Okay. Yeah. Owen, great Limerick manager. Owen Hand, says Raymond McInerney. Very unlucky. With Ireland, he was. Deck Finnegan. O'Dowd got man of the match against Bulgaria. 1-1.
Yeah.
When was that? When was that? Bulgaria. Was that Kenny's first game? David, are you the only Liverpool fan that wants Gallagher to play? I don't think so. I'd imagine a lot of Liverpool fans want him to play. Or do you mean in case he gets injured because Alisson's already out at the moment? Yeah, I think. Look, I mean, and that's the thing with Keller. He always gets injured on the Irish duty. He got injured last time, didn't he, for a while? And Klopp had to go with the FAI. Do you remember that, Martin?
Yep.
Interesting. Raymond McInerney, Tardelli slagged Chippy for the rain. Not sure what's going on there. Graham Farrell, Kenny to get the Bows job and bring them down. Amazing. Oh, proper shit house right there from Graham. Was there an 82 when we beat them? We even had rugby players on our team. Says Raymond McInerney. I think I've got involved in a conversation there. Dave McGuinness, did someone compare Kenny to Owen Hand and suggest Owen Hand was inferior? I was alive and went to Hand game, and that person is on crack. Oh, I do not know. I mean, mine. We have numerous centre halves. We are seriously lacking in midfield, and I think Collins would make a big difference in there. Graham Farr, the FAI handled that Glenn Hoddle presser right in '98, didn't they? Yeah. Did you ever read that where he says Gaza? I think Gary Neville talked about it where, Gazas, they were all queuing up to learn if they were going to France or not. And he just stormed in and he said he wasn't, and he smashed the room up.
Yeah, trashed it,
yeah. Raymond McInerney, Limerick United matches. David Graham Farrell. Dave, was that Italy game the last time you drank? It actually wasn't. I stopped drinking in October 2017. October 18, I think it was. It was the day after Sean Hughes died. Cirrhosis of the liver. And that was one of the things that kind of got me thinking about it. And then just to finish up on the debate here, Hannah had better players and we didn't do great. That is very true. And Stephen Ring, and this is going to be the last comment, guys. We're going to leave it there. We're on for an hour and 45 minutes. Stephen Ring picked up tickets for the women's team against England and Sweden. First time going to the girls in green and really looking forward to good man, Stephen. Oh, wow. We did say we're going to stay till the comments finish. It's 20 past midnight. Thank you so much for your interaction, guys. Without the Roar faithful, this podcast would be absolutely nothing. Lansdowne Road would be nothing. Lansdowne Roar would be nothing. And just thank you again. We hope we've answered your questions and maybe probably asked more than anything else. Just a quick reminder. We won't be live this Sunday. We will be live on Wednesday as the window preview there. And we're going to be live next Wednesday. We'll probably have more pullouts, people showing up, that kind of thing. So we'll get to that. I'm flying to Ireland the next day, so I can't wait. So next Wednesday, we're live, not this Sunday. And I'm going to leave it there, Martin. See you next Wednesday, not Tuesday.
I want to wish everybody a happy St. Patrick's Day, Dave. You miserable fucking Anglophile. Dave always tells me off for swearing, and I never used to swear on this. You brought this out in me. You used to be.
We used to be. I tell you what, we
used to be very bad.
We used to be a lot worse. In fact, one time I said the C word. Kalamazoo, but you know, no, one time I did say it, and I think you gave out to me for saying that. That's when your mammy started watching, wasn't it?
Yes, she's we've got to get her to subscribe again.
Get her back in. We've stopped swearing. We've actually cleaned up our act.
Anyway. No, we'll wish everybody a happy St. Patrick's Day, and we'll be obviously covering all the latest news. I'm in the parade on Sunday, so looking forward to that, as I said, and just thanks everyone for the support.
Martin's dressing up as a big ticket. It's a big fucking ticket in London. Anyway, we're going to leave it there, guys. Thank you so much, as always. If you like what you hear, love what you see, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. We're trying to grow that. Scan the QR code, head over to our Facebook, Instagram, and our Twitter. Do join us throughout the international window. We're going to all the games. We're going to be live before the usual stuff we do. We're live when the team's announced. We're live straight afterwards to get your opinion, and we're going to have a few shows in between. I'll be going to all the press conferences if I'm not dead store like I was last year, and it's going to be fantastic. So Lansdowne Roar is the only place you need to go other than the games itself to follow the boys in green. We're going to leave it there. I'm David Dunn. He's Martin Prendergast. This is Lansdowne Roar. We're out of here. Thank you very much. Good night. God bless. And sweet dreams.